Welcome to Wellington!
Woo, the coolest little capital in the world. I'm excited to be here. I haven't been here since I was teeny tiny, so excited to explore.
Yeah, so I actually, when I was teeny tiny, I lived here. So some of this is like so memorable for me in the best way possible. I've also, in previous jobs, like had head offices down here, so I've spent a lot of time here and friends that still live here. So that's kind of a convoluted way of saying this is going to be a fun walk down memory lane for me.
Got my tour guide.
I get to share it with Stacey, and then also we just want to pull together the best things to see, to do, to eat, where to go, what to do into a video and share that with you.
You literally can't come to Wellington and not go to Te Papa, and if you've got no idea what that is, it's New Zealand's national museum, but it's a cool museum.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not the museum types, really. Like, selectively we are.
Yeah.
If you've been following for a while, you know there are places around the world we've definitely been to museums because they have something really unique going on. This place is like interactive.
Yeah.
It is actually fun, and I've been here when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager. Now I'm like, early 30s. And it is it's changing forever, but it's still actually awesome. You just got to trust us.
There's something like 800,000 things to see, but even if you just stop for one, check out the award-winning Gallipoli Scale of Our War exhibition in partnership with Weta Workshop.
It's immersive, eh?
You actually feel like you're there.
And these things are probably, I think, was it 5 times human size, and they are unbelievably realistic as well.
Even just like on their hands, you can see their blisters and stuff. It's wild.
The facial hair is really impressive too.
We actually felt the facial hair at Weta Workshop.
I want to say it feels like this, but probably a bit of a
Yeah,
better
I
beard
touched
than me.
And then I touched Dane, I was like, very realistic.
So we always try and include some free things when we're traveling, but it's rare that you get something as cool as that for free.
That was awesome.
And if you're looking for even more value, check out the link in the description below for some crazy low fares to Wellington with Jetstar.
We've always loved that Jetstar's fares are already the lowest, but they're also flexible, so you only pay for what you need, spending less on getting to a destination so you have more money to spend on your holiday.
Fly on a budget, go carry-on only, and a seat allocated at check-in, so you can put your money towards some of the other amazing things to do in Wellington.
Or fly in comfort. Pick up a bundle, embrace the onboard treats, select a window seat, or sit up the front of the plane like the legend you are.
The choice is yours to save if you want, and we're all about that.
But we're also all about showing you a few more free things to see in Welly as well.
So another awesome thing to do is just to come along and walk down the waterfront. Like, there's this great pathway and you get to see basically all of the city, all the different buildings. Like, there's a weatherboard one right here, and then all of the big high-rises as well.
This is a city with like a lot of character and
Yes.
contrast between like the modern and historic. And there's so much history in a lot of these buildings, we won't kind of go into it, but if that's your vibe, like, there's so much to learn about all of these. You can also walk the plank.
Oh yeah. It's legit. It's got a skull on it.
even got a skull on it.
And then you can get back up here. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh, there as well.
Yeah.
They've really thought about places that you can sit and kind of like go down to the water and come back up, little bridges and places to sit and things like that.
Yeah, they do competitions and stuff down here. I remember when I was young, they did like the Red Bull thing.
Yeah.
You make the carts and they fly them off the end of it and jump off into the water, and yeah, it's fun. I also came to see the Harlem Globetrotters down here at the sheds too when I was young. Yeah, Te Papa's there, loads of restaurants and cafes, and you keep going around this way, you got an even better treat, which it's kind of nicer if it's a good day.
What is it? What's the treat?
Stay tuned. So this is the crazy thing about Wellington. That's the CBD, right? That's where we were just talking along there. So the museum and stuff is all in behind that bit. And then in a small walking distance, there is a beach right here. Now look, it's not the nicest beach in the world. You can see it is part of the wider harbour, but I mean, it's bloody mint and it's right there. How good is this?
I actually love it. You just get like a good feeling when you're here.
A beach in your lunch break?
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine just being able to come out here in the summertime, have your lunch, quick reset, feel good about life.
Walking along Oriental Parade is nice too, and there's some great restaurants and cafes. Also, don't miss the boat sheds for some cool photos.
A really underrated thing about Wellington is its walkability. It's really small and compact, so most things are within walking distance, and when they're not, the public transport is pretty decent to connect up to anything else.
In terms of the best streets to explore, Lambton Quay is a good place to start. Around the Banks Arcade area, there's some great shopping too.
Another one not to miss is Cuba Street.
This is one of the most iconic streets in Wellington. It's a walking street only, and this probably sums up how it goes.
This is a super eclectic and interesting spot for people watching the famous bucket fountain and shopping. There's a lot of boutique, vintage and secondhand stuff along with your standard pubs and upmarket restaurants.
A tasty and surprisingly fun tour we recommend is at the Wellington Chocolate Factory. It's a 90-minute tour where you learn about the whole process of chocolate making from bean to bar.
And then we get to eat 6 chocolates between us, and that is why we are here.
Okay, so it turns out that making chocolate is a little bit stressful. First, we had to pick our toppings. Hard enough decision as it was. Second, then we had to pick if we wanted milk or dark chocolate. Then we had to temper the chocolate, which means that we had to stir it for ages and get it down to a certain temperature. Then we had to put it into the molds, and then we had to get our toppings and put the toppings on top. And now we're waiting, and we're gonna have a hot chocolate while we wait.
And now we can breathe.
Note the good wrapping on this one. That's mine.
Nah, mine is better.
No, mine's definitely better.
I was thinking something else people might want to do is eat some actual food. Something substantial,
So
carbs,
if you're like
protein,
me, you could
fats.
survive on chocolate. But if you're like Dane and you want some real food, this is the place because it's the culinary capital of the whole wide country. And fun fact, this place has more bars and restaurants per capita than New York City. How wild is that? I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, honestly, I mean, I live here and I still find that absolutely crazy. But it does make sense. And
Yeah, well, it's so windy. Everyone needs somewhere to go and shelter, right?
August Eatery is our best recommendation for brunch. The coffee was perfect and there's heaps of goodies on the menu, but the Istanbul eggs was the winner.
I'm a big chicken guy, so when we found Lucky Fried Chicken, I was a happy man. It's a great cheap eat and so crispy. For something a little bit fancy, Dockside Restaurant has a great reputation for a reason. Chill and overlooking the water with some seafood, a steak, and a glass of wine, that's living. And by now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows how much you love pizza and donuts.
What? So for those, we recommend a little spot called Vonuts.
They are delicious. We had no idea that Vonuts means vegan, so no dairy, no egg, no stress, all good.
And the best pizza was at Scopper on Cuba Street.
Oh my gosh.
And while we're being honest, as for my addiction, Welly is a proper coffee hub, up there with Melbourne. Realistically, anywhere you go is likely to be good, but the hangar is run by Flight Coffee, and they do a trio of flat whites that you can legitimately taste the different notes and profiles from each cup.
this is my kind of breakfast.
They also do a great breakfast roll. If you love coffee as much as us, then near the end we've got an even better recommendation.
But our second favourite liquid is craft beer, and there's a really cool scene here too. Fortune Favours is one of the more well-known spots, definitely worth checking out. A must-do for the family, big or small, old or young at heart, is right in the middle of town.
It's iconic. It's the cable car. It's 120 years old. It's done millions of trips.
I think it's like a million. I might have made. I think I've told you
Just
wrong.
say millions because it sounds better. And it takes you 120 meters above sea level. Cool.
It's only $11 return and takes 5 minutes to get to the top, but there's also 4 stops along the way that you can get off and explore.
And we're not even ashamed to say how much we enjoyed the tunnels either.
So now we're 612 meters up. There's walks and stuff you can do up here. There's a cafe. There's a museum, visitor centre, all that kind of stuff. But I think this is probably one of the best views at all. But I think there's probably more about the fact that this is also one of the best places in Wellington to get some views. And when you've got like a medium to good day like this, I think we'll take the opportunity.
There's one other epic spot we recommend for the best views in Wellington.
It's already meant and we haven't even got to the top yet.
I know. Just seeing the views driving up as well. Get little gaps between the really nice houses. Like, oh my gosh, looks so nice. We're at the Mount Vic lookout point. You can actually walk up here, but we were lazy today and decided to drive up.
There's a big car park. Pretty good for camper vans as well, which
Yeah, we've
anybody
seen
wants
loads.
that for that reason.
Yeah, loads of camper vans. And yeah, we're just going to make our way up, kind of behind me. I don't know if you can see the little railing up
Yeah,
there.
I think it's up
But
there.
You can literally get 360-degree views of the entire city up here.
It's pretty nice, eh?
It's pretty nice. That's such a Kiwi thing to say. It's really nice. It's super beautiful.
That's better.
One of the main attractions, one of the must-dos when you come here is Weta Workshop. This is where
to see this pretty guy.
this is where this guy lives, and also where the movie making magic happens for movies like Lord of the Rings.
So, I mean, I'm assuming you know Lord of the Rings. It's like a trilogy. It came out a while ago. New Zealand.
Kind of famous in New Zealand.
So we've obviously been to a lot of like places around New Zealand that have been used for filming, but we've never actually been inside and sort of done a tour. So that's what we're doing today. So it's an hour-and-a-half tour. There is literally thousands of props and costumes and guns that you can hold, outfits you can see from all the different movies that they've worked on, not just Lord of the Rings. And while we can't film too much while we're in there, 100% recommend.
Now that you're an expert on what to do in central Wellington, the best spot for a day trip is to the Kapiti coast.
It's only an hour or so if you're driving, but you can also take the train there.
There's over 40 kilometres worth of stunning beaches, coastline and good vibes.
And the best vibes of all, we got to tick off a bucket list coffee experience, and I seriously recommend this.
I've never smelt coffee from so far away in my life.
If we just drove past this place, we'd just be like, oh, we've got to go in there. My nose is telling me to.
Do you know what First Crack is? Ever heard about green beans? Dane's now developed a new coffee roasting fascination, and you will too if you go and check out the roastery.
So today we're actually making our own roast, then we get to take them home. So, first step, checking for moisture.
Right, just grabbing some beans.
Second step, beans into the roaster. Third step, get the beans in and roasting.
I did it! The next step, we're tracking the temperature every single minute. Oh yeah, it's getting stronger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting stronger.
Yeah. The next step, cooling. Yeah, this is for us. How lucky are we? Get to roast our own beans and then we get to take them home and actually enjoy them.
Oh, look at that.
That tastes so good.
And that wraps up the top 10 of our recommendations of things to do in Wellington. The Vineyards of Martinborough are another must visit for your trip, and in our next vlog, we're taking you there, along with Greytown and Featherston.
Yum.
If you think we missed anything, we always love to hear your recommendations in the comments below, but it also helps other travellers that have found this video, found our top 10, and looking for a couple of other things to keep them going.